Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy XIII walkthrough. We are just completing the Nutra-Culture Complex.
Talk to your dad.
What? Why?
Fighting without hope is no way to live. It's just a way to die. I want you to find the hope you were named for. Staying alive, I can help you with, but I can't give you hope. If you go to see your father.
You think meeting my dad will make anything better? He's never listened to a word I've said. He'll never believe all this Lassie stuff. Snow believed Sarah, didn't he?
Yeah.
In a recently convened emergency conference, the Sanctum announced that the fugitive Lassie have been located. The military plans to apprehend the Lassie and carry out a public execution. These images coming to you live from the scene in Palumpolum.
These are Lassie. Show no mercy. They aren't people. They're targets.
Start running.
What?
I'll keep him busy.
But...
You survive.
That's some crowd. Gonna need a plan.
Since when have heroes ever needed plans?
Thing.
Huh?
It's him!
Take us off! Yeah! Lightning! Whoa!
Take care of him.
Lightning, listen to me.
Get moving.
No, you don't understand. Sarah's all right. She'll turn back.
take care of Hope.
Wait!
And then there were 3.
They're here! Hold it!
Gotta go. So how you been?
One's down!
Take cover! I got this one.
All right, here we go. I don't know why, but I love the Shiva wheelie. It is just hilarious. As much as I don't really care for the Eidolons in this game, some of these are hilarious. I'll at least say that. All right, so from here on, or for the next little bit here, we'll have Snow and Hope, and they make an okay combo. Here, I think, God, I hope this isn't where I had to restart because I was stubborn and I didn't just summon Shiva again, which is what I should have done right away. But we'll see here. So, Snow, by himself, is incredibly vulnerable here to this Orion. Yeah, it's looking good. Like I said, I should have, 16 health. Yep, I'm gonna die here. Excuse me. So, should have summoned Shiva right away. So here, I'll just retry this. The one thing, though, I do want to point out is, at this point, Snow is super underdeveloped in his Chrysarium. But that's another thing about restarting here is, or using the retry option, is that it'll go into your screen here. So yeah, you can develop him then in the Chrysarium. I think this happens in a couple of areas too in the game. Actually, specifically with him, I think actually the very first time it was when, I want to say when Shiva, when you actually obtain Shiva, like that battle, I think that's when it happens for the first time. And there are others, but just keep in mind, you know, that he's going to be super weak by himself. And again, I very easily could have beat that if I would have just summoned Shiva again. We had, you know, the Orion was left, and yeah, he had like 30% health or something like that, but I could have just summoned Shiva one more time because I had all 5 TP. So, again, poor decision there on my account, but it gives you a good view of you know, I guess retrying and then having the ability to develop. I had what, 13,000 CP or something like that, and I mean, you know, obviously he's been gaining TP the entire game, or sorry, CP the entire game, but not spending any. You know, basically all the time that Vanille and Saz and Lightning and Hope are out running around, you know, they're all gathering CP and spending, but during that time, Snow is obtaining all that CP, but then he's not spending it on anything, you know, so it's, I don't know, kind of interesting. Alright, let's try this again. And here I'm just gonna skip that cutscene so that you guys don't have to watch all of that again. Which, another just fantastic thing that they added about this game. I don't know if I mentioned that in any of the other videos, but I love that you can skip the cutscenes. I don't obviously skip them the first time I play.
That's it.
And then kind of in subsequent playthroughs, I'll generally not skip them. I'll at least watch all of them once, but you know, in a battle like this where I just lost, and you know, I just kind of wanted to get back to where I was at, then I didn't really feel like it was a good use of time to watch it all again. Didn't really feel like I needed to. But alright, let's see here if I'm pretty sure I summoned Shiva here one more time. There we go.
Shiva.
And I don't know if I'll even end up going into Gestalt mode or not. I may not need it. Alright.
Show 'em how it's done.
Alright, so the cool thing too about not going into Gestalt mode is it Styria? Or Styria? Styria? I think that's her name. I think it's Styria will attack with you, and I want to say it's Nyx that will heal you. And actually she was casting Blizzard there too. And if you want to look, you can actually, and I don't know if I ever did, but you can go into the abilities screen and it'll show you exactly what abilities the Eidolons can use.
What's up?
Where have you been?
I got taken in.
Wait, what?
Not by enemies. It was the cavalry, not SciComm. Leader's name is Rains. He said he'd lend us Lassie a hand. So now, your hero is back.
Why would the army help us? That doesn't make sense.
The military's got all kinds. Not all of them like the Sanctum. Don't worry. I'll handle the bad guys. Come on.
Alright, so Snow has access to the Sentinel role. Is this actually... This isn't the first time. I don't know why they do that now. That's kind of weird. Or why they do this little primer at this point in the game. I mean, you know, we've used Snow before, much earlier on in the game, and he had access to Sentinel, so... Again, not really sure why they put that primer here. I don't know. And then ironically, I barely ever use Sentinel now. Granted, there are a couple of really specific instances where I think it's helpful, and I'll point those out once we actually get there. But for the most part, this is what I'll be using. I'll be sticking to Slash and Burn. You know, that's the common one, I guess, that we've been using, you know, almost from the beginning of the game there. Super Soldier, obviously, are always useful. Dual casting as well. Now, Lifeguard is nice because it puts Snow into the Sentinel role while Hope can heal him. And then I forget what that last one was with, I think that's with Sentinel and was that Ravager, I'm betting? I don't really use that much, and I don't actually think that that's a very good paradigm because, yeah, it's cool you have a Sentinel and they'll take hits for your Ravager, but your Ravager can't really effectively boost up the chain gauge by himself, and it'll most likely just decay right away. So again, I don't really feel like that's a very good paradigm anyway. It would need, you know, you would need a third character and do like a Sentinel Commando Ravager or Sentinel Saboteur Ravager, and even then, that, you know, that Saboteur, I don't know. I mean, it's okay, but those aren't really paradigms that I'll be using much. They're, I think, extremely specific scenarios, and I would say unlikely to get a whole lot of active time. But anyways, all right. So for this area, tons of humans or humanoid soldiers. I think at a certain point here, what I'm going to end up doing is farming a little bit of. Oh boy, what were those things called? They're another one of the elites, and I think it's the Warlord. They're coming right up though. I'll point those out. Now, to be honest, I feel like that's another one. If you've been watching some of the other videos, there was a point way earlier on in Lake Brescia where we farmed up some, I think they were Psychom Executioners for Millerite. And I feel like these ones, though, are about the same in that I don't really feel like they're worth, I don't feel like they're worth farming. I just don't feel like it's worth the time. And the item that you get is not all that useful. It's only used... Actually, I should check this to be sure here, but it actually upgrades the silver bangle into the tungsten bangle. So it's called rhodochrosite. I think I'm saying that right. And so it upgrades that. Now, there is one other item, though, that I feel like it's extremely useful for. But for the time being, we're only going to need one of them. And it's actually buyable from one of the online stores that we get eventually. So, I mean, again, just to reiterate, I just really don't feel like it's worth the time to farm these items here and now. You know, to be honest, you're probably just better off waiting until later and farming something else to get, you know, money faster. So, I guess take that how you want. You know, if you absolutely feel like you really need to get those right now, then go right ahead and I'll show you kind of where. I think I was trying to get a preemptive here. I don't know if that's going to work out, but we'll see. Oh, maybe. Oh, wow, we got one. Nice. I didn't think that was going to work out, but I guess it did. And that's actually kind of a strategy that you can use for a lot of like the human type enemies, because a lot of times they'll run at you, and then if you step just outside their what do you call it, their alert range, I guess we'll call it that. I don't know what that term is actually supposed to be, but you know, you can step right outside and they'll basically wait around for a little bit and then turn around. And at that point, then you can run up and try to get that preemptive on them. So I want to point one thing out here too, being that we've just got him back. I actually really like Snow's commando role for right now. He does, obviously he's got launch, and not everybody gets access to launch, but that's actually, you know, fairly important if it wasn't obvious already. So the one thing that's so good about it, and that might not be I don't know, obvious right away, is that you know, when you launch an enemy up into the air like that, they can't attack you, which, you know, pretty awesome for one thing. But the thing that you don't always, you know, is maybe not as obvious, is the fact that when you've got them launched and they're not dealing damage to you, that means that you don't have to have a healing, or you don't have to have any of your characters healing at that time. So, you know, it really just makes it so that you can keep stacking the damage, and, you know, again, you don't have to worry about healing, and that's just, it's huge. So anyway, so he makes a pretty good commando. I wouldn't say I don't think he's technically the best commando in the game. Actually, I know he's not. But he does a fairly decent job. And later on, so one of the things too about, you know, when I say he's not the best commando in the game, later on, you know, as your characters develop, they'll get access to more of the specific skills in a role. So like a role's skill set. How about, yeah, we'll say that. And by that I mean, like I said, so launch is a good example. I believe Saz does not get launch. I don't think Hope or Vanille do either, because, you know, eventually every one of these characters will have access to every single role. But like, you know, so like I said, I think those three don't get access to launch. So it's actually only Snow, Lightning, and Fang that are able to launch. But there's other, you know, little skills in there too that you know, each of these characters may or may not have access to, and I always feel like that kind of determines a character's effectiveness in a specific role. It's not always, I don't always feel like it's you know, raw stats, because I don't know, raw stats really don't I'm not gonna, you know, I can't say that it's not that they don't do anything for you. It's just I don't feel like they're as important as like access to certain skills and whatnot. So that's usually how I determine the effectiveness of someone's role in combat. But anyway, so here is the first of these elites. I tried to get a preemptive here, and I don't think it worked out. No, that I don't know if the I think this is a warlord. I'm pretty sure. Here. Yeah, warlord. So I'm not sure if the warlord in the back spotted me or if it was when the other soldier turned around. I'm not really sure, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But anyways, so the warlords are super tanky, and they can actually deal a fairly decent amount of damage. They'll start charging. They'll use an ability, and they'll do like I think they prompt it with like a charging mana drive or something like that. And at that point, I would suggest having your characters at least at 50% health or above, because they launch I believe it's a multi-magic like attack on one character, and it can do a ton of damage. So again, I would say that if he's using that, just make sure that your characters are at 50% or above, because they're gonna that means they're about to bring the pain. All right. Once he's launched, obviously not something you need to worry about as much. He's, just like anybody else, not going to really be able to do any damage to you. All right, let's see. Wow, I'm not even able to finish him off before he recovers from stagger. That's kind of sad. Looks like Snow's got, I think that's the Auric amulet on. It gives a critical veil. I don't know if that's useful or not, but actually, yeah, I don't even know why he's equipped with that, to be completely honest. Unfortunately, I think maybe my characters aren't equipped with the best stuff. There you go. There's our Rhodochrosite. So I got extremely lucky there. The very first elite I fought, I won that. If I remember right, that thing's only got a 2% chance to drop. Now that's multiplied by 5 if you get a 5-star rating, but I guess just keep that in mind. That's only going to be so then what is that? It ends up being a 10% drop rate as long as you got a 5-star rating. Fortisol, okay, nice. So yeah, so I guess keep that in mind. Again, though, I really don't feel like those are worth farming. I don't. I feel like the drop rate, number 1, isn't good enough. 2, you only have 2 characters, so it's not really that efficient as far as farming wise. And then just time. It's kind of like a time versus reward. Again, just not feeling like it's worth it. Alright, we've got a big old group of baddies here, and definitely going to want to take out the Bombardier first. They use an ability called Bazooka, which does a ton of damage, and will interrupt your actions. So I definitely think it's a good idea to take those out first. What are the other guys? I think like is it the Tranquil effects, something like that? I think those guys are pretty weak, and they don't do anything really fancy. There's Bazooka. We already got him launched though, so it's not even gonna phase us. We don't care. All right. So really, the only thing you really have to be careful with, and actually really it's when you're playing as Snow and Hope, it seems to me like they just end up facing a lot of enemies at once. And, you know, unfortunately, that means that you're going to end up doing a lot of healing. And so you really just have to watch your health bars. Once one of these two start getting a little bit too low, you really got to swap into, you know, the medic role. That's actually one of the things I really want to talk about with Snow, and another reason kind of why I think he does so good as Commando, and that's just that he's got such a good like base health stat. I mean, look, he's actually, I think he's over double Hope's health right now. Now that normally I'm not wild about HP in games, and I mean, even in this, it's not like you know, something that I say, you know, I would ever recommend going like out of your way to get. But just keep in mind that the more health you do have, the less time you have to spend in a healing role. You know, which means more time dealing damage. And a lot of times that just means that, you know, it can mean the difference between 5-star ratings or not. Just because, you know, you're being more efficient. You've got a bigger buffer, you know, of HP to work with, so you don't have to swap into that medic role. The Paladin, I'm not a fan of that item. I really actually don't like Snow's weapons and their, like, special effects. I don't think there's a single weapon that he's got that I really care for that much, which is unfortunate. There's usually, I think with everybody else, they have either one or sometimes multiple pieces of multiple weapons that I really like. It's just, with Snow, not the case. He doesn't have a single ability that I'm like, yep, that's the weapon that I want to use. I'll probably get into that a little bit later once the weapon selection, you know, becomes a little bit better. But for the meantime, again, just I guess keep that in mind that he just, I mean, he doesn't have real great weapons. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. All right. So, anyways.
Follow my lead.
Let's keep punching these bad guys down. Excuse me. All right, I think this is the last group of enemies here. I don't know. I tried to get a preemptive, but these guys are just really hard to get a preemptive on because there's so many of them. And look at the warlord back there is always facing this way. Or at least I think he's always facing this way. But there is a way, I believe, to get a preemptive. I wouldn't say that I had all that much luck with it, but I did here and there. And that was when I was trying to farm here. Basically what I had to do was take this group of enemies down once, and then we'll continue on to a save point. Well, then you can actually run back up and these guys respawn right away. And so it actually kind of makes this area right here a decent spot if you want to farm these. Again, I don't recommend it. I don't think it's a good use of time, but you know, if you really want to, you can. And just keep in mind that if you, basically what you can do then is you can jump, you jump down from where we're at right now, and then what you can do is jump right back up. You jump down, go to the save point, and then jump back up, and like I said, they'll be respawned by then. But right after you jump, if you initiate combat with the warlord, I think it's the warlord, immediately, sometimes you'll get a preemptive. So, and I mean, to be honest, that can really help out. It's you know, you'd normally be able to take down one of these guys extremely quickly then, and so I think you'd only have like what, 3 left at that point. So you know, I guess that's one thing I guess to note. And again, you know, that's if it's, but I mean, really, that's only going to come into play if you really want to farm those rhodochrosites. But again, you know, I think I've probably said it like 5 times now, but just I don't really feel like it's worth the time. Anyhow,
How about this?
man, those guys, they're so beefy too. It really would have helped though, and I don't know what each of these guys have equipped, but It would have been really nice to get
How about this?
the I think it was either the power wristband. I think that's one. Either have one of them or two of them on snow. I would have had to, you know, you'd have to buy an extra one, but that would have made a huge difference here. But as it is, I did not. All right, yeah, 2 minute and 15-second battle time. That's a really long fight. Credit chip Phoenix down. I missed what the third item was. Or was that? No, it wouldn't have been another credit chip. Oh, it was another credit chip. That's weird. So it went credit chip Phoenix down and then credit chip again. That's kind of weird. I don't know why it didn't just say 2 credit chips, but whatever. All right, so turn around here, and hopefully I'll turn around. There we go. That'll be the last treasure chest here. And then anyway, so I'm gonna save my game again. If you want to farm this area, go down to the save point and then come back up and then just jump here where this blue circle is. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe if you guys want to. Hope this guide was helpful though, and I hope you join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.